Hello and welcome. This is our junior certificate mathematics lesson in which we are going to be looking at revision mathematics paper 1, which is a multiple choice paper. So you should have with you a set of mathematical instrument, but you are not going to be allowed to use a calculator in this paper. And let us have a look at the revision questions. Question number 1 says, the frequency table below shows the marks obtained by 12 students in a mathematics test. Use it to answer questions that follow. So this is a frequency table. You are given the marks 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the frequency, that is the number of times these marks are occurring, 5, 3, 3, 1. The frequency here is saying the frequency of the mark 3 is 5. It is saying 3 is appearing 5 times, 4 is appearing 3 times, and then the mark which is 5 is appearing 3 times, 6 is appearing only once. So this is the meaning of frequency. It is the number of times an element appears within the distribution. So with regard to this question, it is the number of times the mark is appearing within this distribution. So let us have a look at the question and then work it out. The question says we are to calculate the median. We are to find the median mark. So how do we find the median mark? We have to start by locating the position of the median. We have to start by finding the position of the median within the distribution here. So how do we find the position of the median? The position of the median is found by the sum of the frequency plus 1 divided by 2. We just have to add the frequencies. Then after adding the frequencies, we add 1 and then divide by 2, because this is a continuous, it's a discrete information rather. So this will be the sum of the frequency 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1. So 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So this will be 12 plus 1 divided by 2. And then what is 12 plus 1 divided by 2? 12 plus 1 is 13. So this is 13 divided by 2. So 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Meaning the median is at the mark, rather is at position number 6 and position number 7. So we are to consider position number 6 and position number 7. The question is, where does position number 7 come from? This is 6.5, meaning we are to consider position number 6, and then this is 6.5. If you round this 6.5 to the nearest whole number, it becomes 7. So it means we are to consider position number 6 and position number 7. So that's where the median is, position 6 and 7. Positions 6 and 7. Then we go back to the frequency table. We need to go back to the table here. Let's go to the table. This is our table. We are saying we have to look at position number 6 and 7. Up to position number 5, we have 3. That is 3 will be from position 1 up to position number 5. And then at position number 6, it's a 4. And then at position number 7 is also a 4. So this simply means the numbers at the middle here is 4 and a 4. Because at position number 6, it's a 4. Position number 7 is also a 4. So the median will be, the median will be 4 plus 4 divided by 2. And then 4 plus 4, this is 8 divided by 2. So the median is 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's how we find the median. We just need to start by locating the position of the median. And then how do we find the position of the median? It is the sum of the frequency plus 1 divided by 2. That will give you the position of the median. Then after finding the position, you go back to the frequency table, locate the numbers at those positions. With regard to our question, the numbers at position number 6 and 7 is 4 and a 4. So we'll add 4 and 4, then divide by 2. So 4 plus 4, it's 8, divided by 2, it's 4. And then we go back to the alternatives. The first alternative, A, 3, B, 3.5, C, 4, and then D, 4.5. So the answer to this question is C. We circle the letter C because that's where 4 is. And then the next revision question, it says the sum of the interior angles of a regular hexagon. Find the sum of the interior angles of a regular hexagon. So one, you need to know what a hexagon is. A hexagon is a shape with 6 sides. Six sides. This is a shape with 6 sides. So the sum of the interior angles of any polygon is given by the formula 180 degrees times n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. So in this question, it's a hexagon with 6 sides. So this simply means it will be 180 degrees times 6 minus 2. And then this will be 180 degrees times 4. And then what is 180 degrees times 4? 180 times 4. 4 times 0 is a 0. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry 3. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So the answer is 720 degrees. So the sum of the interior angles of a hexagon is 720 degrees. We check. Do we have 720 degrees in our alternatives? A is 540, C 1080, and then C 702. So the correct answer is B, which is 720. We circle B. To find the sum of the interior angles of any polygon, it is 180 times n minus 2. And we should understand that here n is the number of sides. So in this question, our n is 6. So this will be 6 minus 2, which will be 4. And then it will be 4 times 180 degrees, giving us 720 degrees. And then what about the next question? Question number 3 says, use the information given below to answer questions that follow. You are told that the sum of 30 degrees is 0.5, cosine of 30 degrees is 0.9, and then the tangent of 30 degrees is 0.6. So this is the given information, and then it says you have to use it to answer the question that will follow. The question says, what is the length of side TU? So you got the side TU here, and then we have to find the side of this TU. We are given the sine of 30 degrees, cosine of 30 degrees, and then the tan of 30 degrees. So we are to use any of these. We need to check which one is the appropriate trigonometric ratio to apply here to find the side TU. Let us go for a short break. When we come back, we'll find the side TU. We are at question number 3, which says what is the length of the side TU? So we have to find the side of TU using the information given. This is a question which involves the trigonometric ratios, that is the sine ratio, cosine ratio, or the tangent ratio. And what does this ratio say? It says the SOHCAHTOA. This is simply to say the sine of an angle is opposite over the hypotenuse, the cosine of an angle is adjacent over the hypotenuse, and then the tan of an angle is opposite over the adjacent. So here we are given 30 degrees, and then we are expected to find TU. TU is a side adjacent to the 30 degrees. So if we try to apply the sine rule, it's opposite over the hypotenuse. We are not expected to find ST, so we cannot apply the sine rule. And then the cosine rule, we are not expected to use the sine ratio, not the sine or the cosine rule, nor the sine rule, but the sine ratio, not rule. And then what about the cosine ratio? The cosine ratio is adjacent cos of an angle, that is the cos of 30 degrees, will be equals to the adjacent. The adjacent is TU divided by the hypotenuse. And then what is the hypotenuse? Is 13. This simply means TU is equals to 13 times the cos of 30 degrees. And then we need to check what is the cos of 30 degrees, because that is the information given. It says TU is 13 times the cos of 30 degrees. So what is the cos of 30 degrees? Cos of 30 degrees is 0.9. This is the information given. It is 0.9. So this is the information that we are to use. So we'll go back and say 13 times 0.9 is equals to TU. So that's how we are going to find TU. And then this will simply mean 13 times 0.9. I'll just write a 9 here.
A. Alright.
Roll it, Raghav.
Rolling.
Action.
The side TU is given as 13 times the cos of 30 degrees. And the cos of 30 degrees, as per the given information, is 0.9. So we'll use the information 0.9, which is the cos of 30 degrees. Meaning, we will have 13 times 0.9, giving us TU. This simply means 13 times 0.9. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry 2. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 2 is 11. So this is what we have. And then remember, we were multiplying using a decimal number with only one decimal place. So we'll count from the left so that we can achieve one decimal place from the left, rather from the right. So this will simply mean the answer will be 11.7 because we are multiplying by 0.9, which is expressed to one decimal place. So we'll have to express our answer to one decimal place. So the answer to this is 11.7. So we check from the alternatives. Do we have 11.7 in alternatives? Alternative A, 6.5 centimeters, B, 7.8 centimeters, C, 11.7 centimeters, and then D, 14.4. So the correct answer to this question is 11.7 because that is what we got upon working out this question. We therefore circle letter C. This is how we answer this question. All that you need to do is to apply the trig ratios. Remember, you have the sine ratio, the cosine ratio, or the tangent ratio. So whatever is appropriate to the question, you apply it to solve the question. So here we applied the cosine ratio. And then what about the next question? Question number 4. The length of an arc produced from an angle measuring 270 degrees is 66 centimeters. Taking pi as 22/7, calculate the length of the radius. So here you are asked to calculate the length of the radius. So the length of an arc, rather, you are asked to calculate the length of the radius. So the length of an arc is given as the theta, which is the angle, divided by 360 degrees times the circumference. And then what is the circumference? Is 2 pi r. And we are saying, according to this will be equals to 66 because you are told that the length of the arc is 66. So what is our theta? The theta here is the angle, and according to this question is 270 degrees. So this will be 270 divided by 360 degrees. Multiply this by 2, and then multiply by pi, which is 22/7, because you have been asked to use pi as 22/7. So it is important that you use pi as 22/7. Then times the radius. This will give us 66. The 0 here will cancel the 0 over here. And then 9 here is 3. 9 into 36 is 4. And then 2 here is 1. 2 into 4 is 2. And then 2 into 2 once, 2 into 22 is 11. So we now have 3 times 11 times r is equals to 66. And remember, we are to divide the 11 here by 7. So this is 3 times 11 times r divided by 7. So this will be 3 times 11 times r is equals to 66 times 7, because you have to multiply both sides here by 7. Multiply here by 7, multiply this side also by 7. So 7 cancels 7 on this side. And then what is 11 times? 11 times 3 is 33. So this is just the same as r is equals to 66 times 7 divided by 3 times 11. And then 11 into 11 is ones. 11 into 66 is 6. And then 3 into 3, ones. 3 into 6 is 2. So we now have 2 times 7. So the radius is given as 2 times 7. And then 2 times 7 is 14. So the radius to this question is 14. This is how we answer this question. So we check, do we have 14 in our alternatives? A is 14, B of course is 21, C 33, and then D 88. So the answer to this question, upon calculating the radius, we found that the radius is 14. So we'll circle the letter A to indicate that we have answered this question. Remember, when you need to find the length of an arc, it is the angle divided by 360 times the circumference of a circle. So in this case, is the theta over 360 times 2 pi r, giving us 66. And then the theta here is 270 degrees. And then you can now compute your simple arithmetic to get the value of r. We got r here as 14. Let us go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. I welcome you from the short break. And remember, we are working on mathematics paper 1, which is a multiple choice paper, where you are not allowed to use a calculator. You need to practice working out these questions without using a calculator. And you had question number 5. Question number 5 says, a flight leaves Botswana at 0800 and arrives in Cape Verde Island after 8 hours 15 minutes, and the time zone are shown below. So we are given the time zones below. Time zone, Botswana is plus 2 GMT, that is 2 hours ahead of the Greenwich Meridian time. And then Cape Verde is 1 hour behind the Greenwich Meridian time. And we are to use this time zone to answer the question. So let us have a look at the question. And remember, we're going to use the information given for time zone to answer the question. It says, what is the time in Cape Verde Islands when the flight arrives? So we are asked to find the time in Cape Verde Islands when the flight arrives. So let's go back to the given statement. It says, a flight leaves Botswana at 0800 and arrives in Cape Verde Islands after 8 hours 15 minutes. So let us have this. If this is the Greenwich Meridian, GMT, then Botswana is 2 hours ahead, and then the Greenwich Meridian is the Cape Verde is minus 1 hour, meaning it's 1 hour on this side. Therefore, if at 8 or rather at, it says the plane leaves at 0800 hours in Botswana. So by the time this plane was leaving in Botswana, what was the time in Cape Verde? The time at the Greenwich Meridian was 0600, because Botswana is 2 hours ahead. So is the 0800 minus 2, giving us 0600 at GMT. And then what about the time at Cape Verde Islands? It's 0600 minus 1. So at the Cape Verde Island, at that time when Botswana was 8 o'clock, there it's 0500, because it's 1 hour behind the GMT time. So by the time the plane leaves Botswana, that is 8 o'clock, GMT time 0600, and then the time in Cape Verde Islands is 0500. And then the question says, after 8 hours 15, the plane is to arrive after, the flight is to arrive after 8 hours 15 minutes. So we just have to add 8 hours 15 minutes to 0500. So 0500 plus 8 hours 15 minutes. So this will be 05, and then 5 plus 8, it's 13. So we are getting 1350, meaning the time at Cape Verde when the plane arrives will be 1350. So let us check. Do we have 1350 in our alternatives? B is 1550, C 1650, D 1950. So the correct answer to this is 1350. All that you need to do is to make sure that you express the time the plane leaves in Botswana at the Cape Verde Islands. It was 8 o'clock in Botswana. And when it's 8 o'clock in Botswana, the GMT time there is 0600, because it's just 8 o'clock minus 2, giving us 6. And then Cape Verde Islands are 1 hour behind, so we will subtract 1 hour from the 0600, giving us 0500. Then from there you add the 8 hours 15 minutes, giving us 1350. So this is the time when the flight arrives in Cape Verde Islands. The answer is 1350. That's how we work this question. And then what about the next revision question? Question number 6. In a shop, a customer is given 20% discount for spending 900 pula or more. One customer bought items amounting to 1000 pula. How much did he pay? So you are told that for you to be given a discount, you need to spend 900 pula or more. So if you spend 900 pula or more, you are going to be given 20% discount on the amount of the item you are going to buy. So this person, we are told that one customer bought item amounting to 1000 pula. So you have to calculate how much he will pay. The 1000 pula is more than 900 pula. Therefore, because it's more than 900 pula, it means this person is going to be given a discount of 20%. So we'll have to calculate the 20% of 1000 pula. And then after calculating the 20% of 1000 pula, we have to subtract that amount from 1000 pula. That is the money this person is going to pay. So this will just be 20 divided by 100, multiply this by 1000 times 1000. This 0 will cancel the 0 here. This one will cancel the 0 over here. And then this is 20 times 10. 20 times 10 is 200. So the customer is given a discount of 200 pula. And then the 200 pula minus 1000 pula is giving us 800 pula. So the customer is going to pay 800 pula, because we are told that this person is going to be given a discount of 20%. So you calculate the 20% of 1000 pula, giving you 200 pula. Then from there you subtract 200 pula from 1000 pula. That will give 800 pula. So the customer is going to pay 800 pula, which is the answer at D. So we'll circle alternative D. And then the next revision question. It says the table below shows the arrival and departure times of a bus from Francistown to Johannesburg. The bus passes through Martinsdrift and Pretoria. Use it to answer questions 7 and 8. So we have to use this to answer question number 7 and 8. The table is here. At which place should the bus be at 0730? So we have to check where 07, that is 7:30 in the morning. At 5 o'clock, the bus is leaving Francistown, and then at 07, that is 7:25, the bus is arriving in Martinsdrift, and then it's going to leave Martinsdrift at 0800. So it means at 7:30, this bus should be at Martinsdrift. So we'll have to check. Do we have Martinsdrift in our alternatives? A, Pretoria; B, Francistown; C, Martinsdrift; and then D, Johannesburg. The answer to this is C. All that you need to do is to interpret the table. Read the table and then understand it. Then you use it to answer the questions. That's how you answer questions of this kind. I think I've covered what I'm expected to cover in this lesson. But before we part, I need to encourage you to make sure that you watch this program, because it will help you understand some of the concepts that you didn't understand. It will augment some of the concepts that have been taught in classroom situations. And it's very important that you watch it, and for your benefit, of course. And from me and the rest of the Junior Certificate Mathematics crew, bye-bye.